Hi everyone, it's Aga from EurekaCrystalBeads.com and I have another fun beading video for you. Today we're going to be making a really easy bead woven ring. But before I get started, just a quick reminder to check out the rest of the channel. Also hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you always know when we're posting new stuff. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about the materials we're going to need, and the only things you're going to need to make this ring is beads. And you're going to need, well, any sort of seed beads, but I recommend the even ones, that is Toho Treasures or Miyuki Delikas. And I recommend that you use either one or the other kind because they're like minimally different and they're just going to be better compatible when it's just one or just the other kind. So it's Toho Treasures or Miyuki Delikas. I'm going to be using Toho Treasures in these two beautiful princess-like colors. I'm also going to need thread, and I'm going to use 1G. This is my favorite thread that I like using for this sort of projects. It's nice, it doesn't fray very much, it's strong, but it's also kind of thin, so you can be sure you will be able to go through the bead multiple times. You can also use KO thread, you can also use Nymo thread, but it's going to fray a little bit. You're also going to need a needle, and I'm using a long size 12 needle, and I would recommend you use that too, but size 11 or size 10 will also be okay. You're going to need scissors, obviously, to cut your thread at the end, and I printed out this simple pattern. We're going to be using just a simple pattern with kind of zigzag, and we're going to have a pink zigzag on a gold background. Here I have made a different ring with the same pattern, and here you can see the effect. It's the same golden beads, but the pink that I used in here is transparent. That's why I really like using colors that are just like these two. One shiny and one frosted or matte. Because the result is going to be really pretty in my opinion. Okay, let's get started. Well, the first thing you need to know is don't cut the thread. You're going to unwind about half a wingspan, which means that if you hold the bobbin of the thread around the center of your body and you extend your hand, that's how much you're going to need for an average ring. And the first thing you need to do is to take one bead, doesn't matter which color, and we're going to make it a bead stopper. So you just go through it on the other side so that you get this kind of stopper bead, like that. And I'm going to put these first beads, 2, 4, 6 beads on the thread, and the black is going to be gold and the white is going to be pink. So I need 2 gold, then gold and pink, then pink and gold. I do it in pairs because the peyote stitch, which we're going to be using, is a stitch that you'd basically do in pairs. So 2 gold ones, now gold and a pink, and now a pink and a gold. And I push them all the way to a stopper bead. Before I get started with the beading, let me just explain to you quickly on this little printout what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using peyote stitch. As you've seen, I've started with these 6 beads. So I started here, I put on these, and then I put on these, and then I put on these. And I'm going to go back, add 1 bead, and go back through that bead from the previous row. I'm gonna then add 1 more bead, skip over every second bead from the previous row, and I'm going to go through that next bead from the previous row. I'm going to add one bead then and go through by skipping one and go through that first bead that I've added, and I'm going to go back again and I'm going to add one bead and go back through the bead that I've added just before, and I'm going through it, I'm skipping through that bead from the first row, I'm adding another bead and going through the bead from the second row that I just added before. And then again, I'm adding one bead on top of a bead from the first row and going through the first bead of the second row that I added. It's going to get easy because you will be able to see which beads are slightly elevated. So there will be a slot in which you will need to add a bead. Let me now show you in practice. Okay, this is where my thread is coming out, and I'm looking at my pattern. So I'm right here. So I need to add one golden bead right over to here. There. The next bead in the pattern is right here, so this is pink. And as I've shown you in the picture, you skip over one and you go through the next one like this. Then the next bead in line is this, so it's gold. And now you will be going through the last of the 6 beads. This one is, remember, it's just a bead stopper, so you don't need to worry about that. You just go through, and there you can already see kind of the slots in which you are going to be adding new beads. Now we're going to be going back. So I just finished here. So I'm going to be going here and adding a gold one, then a pink one, then a gold one. Right like that. And as you can see, you can already notice the zigzag pattern being created. And at some point, maybe you will be able to bead without looking at the pattern. So now I'm going to add a gold one, and again, remember to pull it tight every time. Another gold one. And now a pink one. There, and you go back again, starting with a gold one. And now the zigzag is going back. So a pink one in here. And I'm actually going the other way around because I'm left-handed, but for you it's going to be like this, obviously, most of you. That's why I've printed out the pattern going right rather than left. You can start from whichever side you like. And if you need the pattern, I will enclose it at the end of the video. And it will be also available on the website, EurekaCrystalBeads.com, on the page of this tutorial. So what you do is you basically just continue the same way until you've reached the right length for your ring. You can always try it on whenever, and I'm going to come back with the entire ring to show you how to connect it into an actual ring and how to finish it. Okay, I am now done with the ring, and it just so happens that my finger is exactly the width required to close the pattern, so it's going to align perfectly. Don't worry if you have a small finger, you can always, hide the seal, like the place where it doesn't match up, under your finger so it's not visible. So as you can see, I'm done. What I'm going to do is connect these two parts, and to finish you need this configuration. So where there is one bead missing, there one needs to protrude so that it kind of closes nicely. And what I'm going to do now is so I've finished here, and I'm going to connect it with this side. So I'm going to start by going into this bead, and then that bead that I just added. So it's connected like this. Now I can hold it in this way. So you can see it starts kind of zipping up, and I'm going through this one and this one, so that each bead kind of falls into place. So I'm here. So what I need to do is to go into this one and the last one like this. This one is just the stopper bead, so don't worry about that one. Like that. And it's basically zipped up. So this is what it looks like, and when I pull it, it just falls into place. Okay, now these two are left unconnected, so I'm just going to connect them. I can just take this stopper bead away right now. So I just need to connect these two, and I'm going all the way the same way I just came. To the other side, and I'm going to go back through two, and the way I finish the thread is that I get my needle hooked on the thread between the beads, make a loop like this, go through that loop, pull through, and just take my thread through several beads in a row. You do basically the same with the other end of the thread. You just cut enough to weave it in to the beads. Just take off this stopper bead, go through like 2 beads, get hooked on the a thread that goes between the beads, make a loop, go through the loop, and finish the thread. And there, the ring is ready. All of the materials that I used to make these two rings, both of them, you can find under the link in the description of this video. You can also buy all of that at EurekaCrystalBeads.com. Thank you so much for joining me for this quick peyote ring tutorial, and see you in the next one. Bye!